cheetah. Ho, ho, ho.
Sorry, I'm a little bit rusty on my Huttese. Hello there, I'm Becca Stacks, and this is the newest Jabba the Hutt sail barge from LEGO that released on October 6, 2024, with a credit-straining $4.99 price.
Well, I can see you're serving drinks, but this place is dangerous.
I hear ya, C-3PO. That is the exact sound I made when I first heard how much it was going to cost too. The most controversial thing about this set, other than the cost, is that the Princess Leia minifig is wearing shorts instead of the loincloth style of the previous Slave Leia minifigs. Interesting choice on LEGO's part to make Leia wear ugly culottes, but whatever. I was lucky enough that a LEGO store employee let me film this set, so I didn't have to buy it for this video. I hope I didn't get her in trouble. I'm honestly confused about the video filming policy that LEGO does or does not have in stores. Although I think it is a very cool set, and I love the drinks that R2-D2 is serving. Unfortunately, there isn't any new minifigure characters that are exclusive only to this set. Combine that with the price tag and its massive size have frozen me and my wallet like a tauntaun on Hoth. I decided that a better alternative for me was this older sail barge set that came out in 2013. There were a couple of reasons why I thought this set was perfect for me. One of the reasons is that if you buy it out of the box, it is only 30% of the cost of the newer sail barge. And speaking of great deals, make the jump to my online store, myminifigempire.com, and explore an ever-growing galaxy of collectibles, minifigures, and toys. Whether you're expanding your collection or beginning a new adventure, I'm here to help you build your mini world. I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that like and that subscribe. It only takes a second, but it makes a huge difference in helping the channel. Believe it or not, there is an even older sail barge set than the one I am building for you now. It feels like LEGO took a page straight out of Hollywood's playbook. If it was popular once, remake it and release it all over again. Why make something new? This set came out in 2006, and not only did it come with a sail barge, but you also got the Sarlacc pit included with your purchase. I really like that this set has the original Boba Fett design. Also, how crazy does this LEGO Gamorrean guard look in that last picture? The reason I didn't buy this set is that I don't like the way that Slave Leia and Jabba look. Although their design is much better looking than in the original Jabba's Palace set that came out in 2003. Fun fact, Jabba's sail barge is called the Katana, which sounds less like a luxury cruiser and more like one of the Ninja Turtles' weapons. When George Lucas was designing Jabba, at first his attempt looked too human, then the second one was too snail-like, and finally, on the third attempt, this iconic space boss was born. In 1983, Jabba was the largest and most complex puppet ever built for a movie. Obviously, the huge T-Rex puppet for Jurassic Park would take over as biggest in the 90s.
I like this tattoo.
He is what he is. That's the thing. He doesn't pretend to be anything else. He doesn't feel the need to be charming or anything. He's just an unpretentious, very straightforward guy.
You munch your lips again, Dave? Lovely.
I miss you, Carrie Fisher. It took 3 months to build Jabba and $500,000, which would be around $1.6 million today if you adjusted for inflation. The puppet weighed about 2,000 pounds. It was predominantly operated with 2 guys in the head. One of the puppeteers would actually smoke a real cigar and blow it through the tube that went out Jabba's mouth to make it look like he was smoking. I love practical effects. They are so awesome. I wish more movies filmed today used them instead of CGI. Over 80 different creatures were used in the filming of The Return of the Jedi. It took 13 months with numerous artists to sculpt these models, which would later be turned into puppets. The small models they use for concept designs before they make the full-scale ones are called maquettes. The head of the creature shop was Phil Tippett, and he was the one that designed Jabba's band. Interestingly, he was over the creature shop, not the alien shop. Max Rebo was always a keyboard player, but the singer, Cy Snoodles, for the original song was just supposed to be a dancer, and they decided to change her to a vocalist. The first song was written by Joseph Williams, the son of John Williams, the famous composer. If you don't remember the second song, then it is probably because you never watched the 1997 special edition restoration and enhancement project where George Lucas actually replaced the original song, Laptinek, with the song Jedi Rocks. It is one thing to digitally remaster an older film so it looks okay on modern TV screens. It is another thing entirely to completely redo and change entire scenes in a classic film. We want the original film preserved, the one we fell in love with. There would be plenty of other Star Wars movies that George could add his updated CGI garbage to. He shouldn't have gone back and redone the classic 3 films. I personally hate the second song, The Jedi Rocks, because it sounds like something from Earth and not alien, whereas the first one sounds like something out of this world. But what do you think? Which one is your favorite? Okay, my rant is over. So the set for the sail barge was constructed in Arizona. This movie set was massive in size, around 212 feet long by 80 feet wide. It took 100 workers around 4 months to complete the build, but preparations for the actual site was over a year. But despite all of this effort and time, the actual sail barge is only on screen for a couple of minutes in the film. George Lucas believed one of the biggest traps a science fiction director could fall into was becoming too attached to an expensive prop or an elaborate set. After spending months designing and building something incredible, it can be tempting to keep the camera on it longer than necessary just to show it off. But Lucas felt this was the wrong approach. No matter how impressive the visuals were, they should always serve the story and not distract from it. The audience should be focused on where the story is taking them, not on how much time or money went into what they are looking at. Getting these sails on is kind of tricky. You don't want to damage them. This set is the only one to come with these plastic sails, and the nice thing about the plastic ones is that they keep their shape easier than the cloth sails. In fact, if you get the 2006 or the recent 2024 barges, LEGO does not package the sails safely, and they come wrinkled and messed up. Okay, let's just get this deck on, and finally, here she is, the mighty katana. As you can see, I added a C-3PO to this set because it just didn't feel right leaving him off, especially considering the important role he plays during this iconic scene in the movie. I love these pull-away side panels that let you clearly see the inside of the barge and that give you easy access to the minifigures. One thing I really like about this sail barge is its size. At about 19 inches long and 15 inches tall, it's much more practical to display than the newer, massive version. Interestingly, LEGO has released 3 different sail barges over the years, and this one is actually the smallest of the lot. In fact, I prefer this 2013 version over the larger 2024 UCS set because it's much more screen accurate in its colors. The 2024 version uses a gray deck, but in Return of the Jedi, the deck is clearly brown. Of all 3 LEGO sail barges, this one comes closest to matching the colors seen on screen. It also includes a few unique features that the other versions don't have, like a hidden removable cannon on the front, and it's the only sail barge to have wheels, making it easy to roll around if you want to play with it or simply reposition it on a display. I am definitely biased, but I think this 2013 version is superior overall when compared to the other 2. It definitely has the best looking Leia minifig. I know Carrie Fisher had mixed feelings about the iconic metal bikini, feeling that it overly sexualized Leia. But in the end, there's something powerful about the fact that Leia ultimately used the very chains that bound her to kill Jabba. It turned a moment of captivity into one of the strongest and most memorable victories in the entire saga. Okay, enough talking about the actual barge. Let's see some cool minifigs. As I said, this C-3PO was not included in the original set. This is actually the very first C-3PO that LEGO produced in the year 2000. Love the drink holder on this R2-D2. I do wish the drinks were full though, or had some liquid in them. Ah yes, the main reason I wanted this set was for this particular Leia. Let me free her from Jabba's chain so we can have a closer look at her. I think of all the Leias LEGO has produced, she looks the best. There was so much hate for the new 2024 Leia because she had shorts on, and I agree. There are a total of 4 different Slave Leias that LEGO produced. These 3 and the one with culottes in the beginning of the video. Here is the crime boss, aka the bloated one, which you would never dare to call him that to his face. Jabba's full name is actually super hard to say. Jabba the Hutt. Super cool reuse minifigure. Of course, the one and only Max Rebo. I love the head sculpt for him. Another cool Weequay guard minifig. Now I know that the Rancor is not in this build, but what is in his mouth? Oh, can it be that the Rancor has picked the LEGO giveaway winner? I'm sure you don't remember, but the giveaway was for the Wolfpack Beastmaster. We will look at the name in a second, but let's first look at how awesome this figure is. This is the only Rancor that LEGO ever produced. Okay, so the winner is Crystoli! Congratulations! Please email myminifigempire@gmail.com within 30 days. Thanks again for watching, and may the Force be with you.